Coffee with the Coach continues here as we make a stop in Langley to talk to the new head coach of the Rams, Jordan McCarty. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, how you doing?
You got your coffee this
Of
morning?
course.
Are we ready to go? What's in your coffee? What are you taking there?
It's just a normal straight blend. It's nothing too crazy. Just with some. It actually has the Cold Stone sweet cream in it, so it's pretty sugary, but it's all right. It's not bad.
Get you going in the morning, right? A little
Right?
sugar, a little
Yeah,
caffeine.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, you're the new head coach of the Rams team. No stranger to the Langley Rams, but your first gig as a head coach. How's it going?
It's been good. It's obviously, anytime you jump into a new role, there's a lot to learn. But as long as you're willing to adapt and keep moving forward, you'll be all right. But it's been good. It's been a good process. A lot of people around me have made it easier than what I would, expected in that sense. But it's truly a family when it comes to the Rams, and from the top down, it's just been amazing. It's been a lot of help from the staff support to the coaches, everyone else. They truly make it easy. But it's been good. I've been enjoying my time. It's obviously a lot of work, but it's worth it, and the players deserve it. And it's been a good time though.
When you were first asked whether it was a in-person interview or a phone call or one of these Zoom interviews, what did you feel? Am I ready to be a head coach at the junior level?
Oh, of course. Anytime you haven't done something yet, there's, if you're realistic, there's probably going to be a little doubt or questions here and there. And,
Sure.
do I really want to do this? Am I ready to do this? And, after talking with my support circle and people around me and, in and out of the game, we felt it was time and threw my name in the hat and it worked out.
No better place to start, too, I would imagine. Langley Rams, your former quarterback, you've been your
Yeah.
quarterback's coach, you kind of know the organization, so you're no stranger.
Of course, yeah. It was there's a lot of great organizations out there that are, wonderful. They're doing great things. Obviously, it is nice to stay, where I am a alumni as a player, but ultimately, it's a heck of an experience, and obviously, it is a great place to be. Langley's in a wonderful spot. The location's amazing. It's easy for me, and obviously, a lot of players to get to, so it works for us. But yeah, it's been an experience, and I'm definitely glad to stay home in that sense. But just love football and generally, so it's an honor to be there, though.
Yeah, the season's coming fast and furious. It starts on Saturday. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, the team's ready to go.
Yeah.
We've been putting a lot of work over the last few months. We truly felt that we had to play catch up in a sense. There's obviously a lot of good teams in our conference. Anytime you're, working with a new group or a new staff, there's things that players need to learn, maybe be fundamentally or X's and O's wise. So we put in a lot of time. We're gonna be ready to go though. We have a highly competitive group. It's amazing to see operate in practice. It's always high intensity, but they're a focused group and determined. We have a lot of good players, but ultimately we're going to put our best foot forward and give it our best. Obviously, Valley, man, they're on their uprise. They've been doing great things. They're led by a great coach. Their consistency over the last few years since he's been there has been amazing. So it's a challenge for sure, and we're looking forward to it.
Before we talk about the game, is there a position still that there's still a few question marks around, and not because of lack of talent, but because of the competitive nature, and you're not really sure who has won the starting job yet?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Our quarterback room is pretty crazy. It's been kind of expected how it's worked out in that sense. Some guys step into the circle late, some guys might leave, but we have a solid room with obviously Trey Jones. We brought in Max Bougie. We got an SFU drop down in Gideon Kremler, who's an absolute leader. That guy's a force of nature. We have Jacob Davies back. He came back from the PFC. He was out with Regina. So it's a highly competitive room. It's one of the craziest things I've seen, and we truly do have a good stable of quarterbacks. And to see them battle it out has been amazing.
So how do you pick as a former quarterback? How do you pick who goes
Man,
first?
you always go with the one who can obviously move the offense from point A to B, but sometimes it even comes down to the little things. Your leadership skills. How are you looked at in the locker room? Do these guys believe in you? All that stuff matters. So it's not easy, obviously, and there's only one quarterback that normally plays in a sense, and all of them do want to play. So it's never easy for those guys, but they've handled it like champs. They've competed every day. There's been no complaints, and I appreciate their efforts going into this.
As a first-year head coach, and you look around the Canadian Junior Football League, a lot of head coaches double up as either offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or have their hands in special teams. Do you have that?
Yeah, so obviously I have a big hand in the offensive side of the ball, but I am lucky to have some guys around me that do take a lot off my plate, whether they be a run game coordinator or a passing game coordinator. They essentially fill in the blanks for me when I'm busy doing something else, whether it be with defense or special teams, this, that, the other. So it's those guys help a lot, and they fill that time period of when I don't have time to really think about something while I'm helping someone else. So it's been awesome. I'm lucky to have those guys, and they're really good at what they do.
Yeah. What's some realistic goals for this team as first year head coach? Only a few seasons removed from the
Yeah,
Canadian Bowl title and the Canadian Bowl in BC. What are some realistic expectations for the Rams?
of course. I know everyone has the cliche, we want to win games, but
Sure.
truthfully, we want to take it one play at a time. And obviously that precedes that as one practice at a time. So we're truly just going to take it one play at a time, one game at a time, and see what happens. We do have a very talented group. We should push some teams. We're gonna compete our butts off, and we're gonna leave no stone unturned. So I think we're gonna be on the brink. Obviously I'm not a guy that's gonna guarantee anything or do that, but we should be where we want to be at the end of this. If we continue doing the right things and just focusing on what matters, we'll be all right.
Fun though, right? With the conference hosting the Canadian Bowl, there's that little bit of extra. Oh, if we can get to that title of BC, we can host the Canadian Bowl.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, anytime your conference gets to host, every team should be excited, as I know they all are. It's an opportunity to do something that maybe you haven't done before, but it's an awesome event. It's a one-of-one type of thing. If you've ever obviously hosted it or been in it and done this, it's an amazing game, and ultimately, I do hope we can keep that trophy in the conference.
You've been in it. You've played in the Canadian Bowl in Langley too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was a heck of an experience. Obviously, those Hilltops teams, they were tough, and they still are to this day.
Sure.
It's amazing what they do out there, and it was a heck of an experience. Obviously, you never forget it. It's a one-of-one game. The crowd is crazy. It's just and obviously playing an opponent maybe you don't see regularly, so it's a different challenge. But absolutely, it was a heck of an experience, and we'll never forget it.
So I wonder what will be a bigger high for you, that game or coaching your first game this coming Saturday. Will you be nervous, do you think?
I'm sure we'll all be a little nervous in that sense, just from an excitement standpoint.
Yeah.
But I think obviously playing the game is special, but I do view it differently when you jump into coaching. I think when you jump into coaching, the care goes up even more in that sense.
Oh.
But not to change it from a player perspective, but I'm excited to coach. I love coaching. I think I've always wanted to do this. Even back in high school, people always used to ask, "What do you want to do?" And I love football. Always kind of visioned I would be a coach. Didn't know where, but here we are. So, but yeah, I think definitely the coaching side of it is. I think it's a little bit more. I like it.
Yeah. We should mention too, he's joining us from international area in Blaine, Washington. How are things in the United States?
Of course, no. Obviously, I like it. It's a quiet town. It's a small town. This is obviously where I went to high school. Have a lot of family and friends down here. My family, obviously, from the American side, is originally from Oklahoma and Texas, so we have deep roots down here. But this is, being Canadian born. Obviously, I got to experience the best of both worlds. I did attend high school up in STM till 8th grade, and I made the jump down to the States and never looked back. And I've been lucky to live in both Canada and the States, and this just happens to be home right now. And yeah, this is where I like to be. So it's not bad.
The commute's not too bad, right?
No, it's not bad at all. It's about 15, 20 minutes. It's a good little drive, but I always joke around with the players and tell them I'm likely to beat them to the facility no matter what time they leave, just because I'm right there. So it's good.
Unless the Blue Jays are in Seattle, and then the border.
Of course, right? Definitely. That's when it gets hectic.
Well, listen, thanks for doing this. Good luck this coming weekend. We'll be cheering for you as a new head coach in the BCFC and the CJFL. Thanks for doing this, Rick.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll see you soon.